This is a Goomba, and today we're going to imagine if the most basic of Mario enemies got into Smash Ultimate. And while they may initially seem to have little to no moveset potential at all, I took this as a challenge, and today we're going to prove the doubters wrong. And we're going to do the same for even more Mario enemies as well, including one super fun idea that I want to share with you if you stick around to the very end. Piranha Plant getting in as the first DLC fighter opens the floodgates for so many more completely random characters to get into the roster with some unique movesets. But how would the Goomba play? Well, he'd probably be relatively slow because they're definitely not the fastest enemies out there, and his main attacks would have to consist of headbutts because, well, they don't have arms. Still can hold the baseball bat though, don't forget that. What about some alternate costumes? You'd think I'd be tired of making these after 3 alts episodes by now, but man, I just can't help myself. The first two are going to be based on their appearances in Super Mario Bros., with these being the blue Goomba, the ones that appear in caves, and the gray Goomba, the ones that appear in castle levels. Next, we're going to have a Gloomba because, well, we all love Mario World, right guys? They could do a pink one as well based on Goombette from Mario Odyssey. Wait, you thought this was going to be based on Goombella? Joke's on you for thinking Nintendo would want to reference this game in the first place. We're going to get a red and white one as well based on the Toads because, you know, the Toads are the mushroom people of the Mario World, and come on, Goombas kind of look like mushrooms, right? One that would look really cool is a black alt based on the Choombas from Bowser's Inside Story, a game from the Mario and Luigi series, which you know is doing absolutely fantastic at the moment. And next up, we're gonna get a golden alt. This is a very common variant of the enemy that we see a lot in Mario games. Moving back to some attacks now, I think a really cool idea for a spike would be with the Karibo shoe. It's gotta happen, man. This is such a memorable item. An idea for a smash attack would be turning into the pile driver Goomba. You know those crazy ones with the bricks on their heads? This would certainly deal a ton of damage to the opponent. Kind of like the damage dealt to Mario's heart at the end of Odyssey. Another idea that I have is headbutting the opponent with the spiky helmet from Paper Mario, which can't be too comfortable. Moving on to the specials, and one that I think would be really cool is using the skate from 3D World. Get it? Pretty cool. Okay, I'll stop. Another idea is that he could spread some micro Goombas onto the opponent. These are the really small ones, which I'm sure you remember because you have lots of experience with micro things, right? These guys will inflict some residual damage, kind of like how Olimar throws Pikmin, except this would be even more annoying if you could imagine that. An up special could be easily implemented with the use of the Paragoomba to fly upwards, but another possible recovery could be flying with the raccoon tail, you know, if you're into that. But what about the biggest move of them all, the quintessential special? Let's move on to the final smash. This will turn Goomba into the Goom Boss, and his army of Goombas will trample over the opponent. This is a powerful species of Goomba that originated in the first Paper Mario and was randomly brought into Mario 64 DS as a pretty unique boss fight. In my mind, this would be a great explosive final smash, although hopefully not explosive like the way he dies in the game. That wouldn't work out so well. One more thing, if Goomba was to get a stage, this battle arena could definitely fit that role very well. Okay, maybe a Goomba doesn't seem too realistic or whatever, and that's because, well, you're right, he's not, but at least we've seen that if he was in Smash, he could still have an interesting kit. But now we take things up a notch with the Koopa Troopas. But before we do, I just want to let you guys know that a large portion of my viewers aren't subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate it if you could just check because it's free and you could always unsub later if you want. But anyways, back to the Koopa Troopas. And right away we're gonna get a reference in here because the Koopas would have to be fast in the game in order to call back to Koopa the Quick. Should he be as fast as Sonic or Little Mac? Maybe not, but hey, this is an extremely strange and unlikely hypothetical scenario, so weird should be expected. For some alternate costume ideas, the red shelled one is a given, along with the blue and yellow ones, which are also pretty common. This combination of 4 colors was chosen for Mario Sports Superstars roster as well, and you know with the success of that game, we've got to take into consideration, right? A really unique look here would be a completely gray and black one based on the Dry Bones enemy, basically a dead Koopa Troopa. We're gonna have another one with black in it as well, with it being on the shell this time in order to reference the Bombshell Koopas from Super Mario Land. Next up is a slightly darker colored Koopa with a teal shell based on Parakarry, one of the partners in the original Paper Mario. And finally, we're gonna get a purple colored shell outfit because this is one of the Freerunner's colors in Mario Odyssey, and it's also seen before in Paper Mario games, so it kind of references both the new and the old, which is pretty cool. For some of the melee attacks, the Koopa would likely use his hands and head, but when you get to the smash attacks, some more creativity could be put in. For example, what about a potential forward or downward smash where the Koopa spins on his shell, delivering powerful kicks to the opponent? Other options could be drawn from the Mario Sports titles, such as swinging a tennis racket as he frequently appears in those games, or maybe just keep it simple with a powerful shell slam to the ground, like Bowser. For the specials, a pretty obvious side special would be jumping into his shell and spinning across the stage. This would be a very similar state to Yoshi's egg roll, which would get me worried more and more by the minute because maybe it won't be terrible this time, who knows. It's very fitting though, and we've got to include it. Just like we've got to include the Paratroopa as a recovery option. Look, I know I've already used this for the Goomba, and don't worry, it's the last time I'm using it today, but come on, this is such a common variant that would work really well. But you know what? If you don't like it, you could just use the cape to fly with from Mario World as the Super Koopa enemy. Another interesting special idea could be throwing their shell to slide across the stage, and while this happens, their outfit could change to the look of when they lose it in various Mario games. Oh god, do I have to flag this for nudity now? I don't think it would be the best design decision to allow opponents to just take the shell and have Koopa lose it completely because a large amount of moves are based on it, but it's an interesting proposition nonetheless. For our final smash, there are a couple of ways we could go with this, with one idea being an attack with a stack of 4 Koopas on top of each other representing the Koopa Bros from Paper Mario, which could work, but who cares about Paper Mario, right? The only good one was Sticker Star anyway, so another idea I have is pretty wild, but I've seen it thrown around online a lot. What if the Koopa retreats into his shell, it grows explosion size and some spikes are now present, and he'll fly around and hit one of the opponents, dealing tons of damage, being based on the blue shell from Mario Kart. This is probably the most iconic attack with a Koopa shell in series history, so it could definitely work as a final smash. These characters are going to continue to get more interesting going forward, with this next character being way more unique based on the Boo enemy. Boo is going to hover in the air and move relatively quickly, but also be a pretty floaty character as well, because, you know, he's a ghost. For the ults, the first one I want to add here is the pink Boo from various Mario Party games. Along with that, we're going to get the golden Boo from New Super Mario Bros. 2. Following that is a black ult based on the bomb Boos from Mario Galaxy, pretty memorable enemies from there, and also a lighter red Boo based on the Boo Man Bluff from Yoshi's Island. Some cool looking outfits here. Then we're going to get a minty green one based on Bo from Paper Mario, a well-known depiction of the character. And I also think it would be cool if we got a brown ult based on Herbert from the game too. And speaking of that, we can't go through these ults without referencing King Boo, right? After all, he's requested a lot more to be a playable character than the regular Boo is, so I think giving him a purple tongue and pink eyes would make it a cool look. For some of his close-up attacks, Boo would mainly use punches and some licks, and potentially grab you with the fishing rod based on the Fishin' Boo from Mario World. Some potential smash attacks include using a powerful biting attack, using the pickaxe from the minor Boos in the Mario and Luigi games, which could maybe be modified to look like a scythe to make it look a little more creepy, and maybe a downward lightning strike as well, in a similar form to how King Boo uses them frequently in boss fights. The specials for Boo could get even more interesting since he's a ghostly, creepy creature. A couple ideas for specials include a neutral special where he shoots flames at the opponent based on an attack from King Boo and Super Princess Peach. For a side special, a really cool idea would be using a move in a similar vein to Greninja's Shadow Sneak or Inkling Swim to move around the stage and surprise attack the opponent, being based on the stretches from Mario 3. I don't know how likely this would be, so I guess you could say this attack is kind of a stretch. For a down special, I think if Boo's facing the opponent, he should cover his face like they normally do in the game, disappear to avoid the attack, and then unleash a powerful counter attack to the opponent. And lastly, a recovery I don't think needs to be too good since we assume that the Boo's gonna have a few jumps anyways, but I think if you need that one last bit of boost to reach the stage, we could have the Boo stretch out as the Boo Buddy Snake from Mario World as a form of recovery. Let's move on to the final smash, and for it, he's gotta transform into King Boo, right? Delivering powerful attacks from Luigi's Mansion to the opponent in a similar vein to how Piranha Plant turns into Petey Piranha as an added boost. I feel this type of final smash just works so well for regular enemies that we've gotta take advantage of it here. And next up is the one that I'm most excited to talk about today, and it's gotta be the Hammer Bro. But why? Well, I think the picture could start to be made a little bit clearer when we take the hammer away from the name, as this character is actually going to be based on many different versions of the Bro enemies. Yeah, we're gonna have 4 main states that you can rotate through here, with the hammer, fire, boomerang, and ice variants all being represented. The first 3 have been around forever, and the ice one is a prominent inclusion over the last decade or so, so I think it deserves it. And I know some of you watching right now are going through that same painful realization as me that New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which first featured these guys, released nearly 12 years ago. Yes, it's really been that long. So if you're gonna be switching between these types, we should obviously have all 4 get alternate costumes. These take care of half of them, but what about the rest? The first idea I have is a black shelled Hammer Bro based on their look in Mario RPG. Then another interesting idea would be a brown coloration based on the look of the Sumo Bro, a variant that frequently appears in many new Mario games nowadays. And finally, we're gonna get 2 alts based on Mario 3, with the green and black original coloration of the Sledge Brother and the all red version of the Fire Bro as well. These are the original colorations of these characters, which I'd love to have as a nostalgic reference. The Fire Bro is also gonna gain some purple on their shell as well to reference the Army Hammer Bro from Super Princess Peach, just to spice it up. Spice it up. Fire. Oh, okay. With all these different alternate looks, how are you going to tell what form you're currently using during battle? Well, this is going to be because of the icon on the bottom of the screen. I also think that you should be able to change your form using your down special, giving options like Shulk, which will be on a cooldown over time, and each will have their own unique uses. The standard Hammer Bro is going to be one of the most physically powerful and the second slowest. He's going to have big hammer swings as smash attacks, with curved throws for a neutral special akin to Simon's throw, and a charged hammer hit for a side special, kind of like King Dedede's hammer. This one is going to hit hard. The Fire Bro is going to be the fastest form here and will either use the bat from Mario Baseball for the smash attacks, or if you really want to stretch it, he could use the Fire Snake enemy as well. It's not really canon, so to speak, but hey, neither is Ness using any of his PK attacks, so leave me be. The iconic fast bouncing Fireball will be the neutral special, with the PK Fire equivalent serving as the side special, because we all love that attack, right? Next up, we have the Boomerang Bro. He's going to be the second fastest, using the Boomerang for all smash attacks and having a very similar side special to Simon and Richter by throwing the Boomerang and having it return. A neutral special could be a bit more unique by throwing the Boomerang directly up into the air, which could be used for spacing as it'll come down later, kind of like Link's bombs. Next up, we have the ice form, where jabs with sharp icicles are used for smash attacks to reference the ones that fall from the ceiling in 2D Mario games, with the neutral special allowing for you to shoot ice balls, and the side special being similar to Ice Climber's Frost Shot, where you could freeze the opponent. They're going to be slower, as their main gimmick is to slow you down to even the odds, but also follow that up with powerful attacks. All of them will have the same up special, using the high jump from their 2D appearances, where they go from level to level on bricks. Due to their powerful attacks and wide range of abilities, they're going to be balanced by not having the best recovery in the world. And one more special for these these guys is going to be the final smash, and there are a couple of possibilities here, such as them either turning into the Sledge or Sumo Bro to inflict some more powerful attacks, but I think a combination move akin to Triple Finish or Mega Man's Final Smash would work just as well, with all 4 of the bros used in the moveset appearing and blasting the opponent into oblivion. This would deal a ton of damage and look really cool too. Out of all the enemies that we've gone over today, if I had to rank how much I'd like to see them each in Smash, I'd put the bro at the top, and I can't really decide on the other 3 since they all have something unique to bring to the table, even though they seem simple at first glance. Let me know your thoughts below, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.